I'm Corey for Living in Diz. Welcome to our second vlog here in Maine. Kind of like a little bit of a hometown, homecoming kind of thing, where we're just up here to take care of some business and figure we take you along with us. So just a little bit of the scenery of the neighborhood where the kids grew up in. This here behind me is actually my in-laws' backyard with some beautiful scenery here. And there's a shed back there, which I helped my father-in-law put the roof on that. You learn to be really handy here in Maine when you become a homeowner and you find out it's a lot cheaper to do your own work if you can. And there's a lot of handy people here in Maine, so it allowed me to learn. I went from being someone who was, could barely hammer a nail in straight to doing a lot of work in my own house, which included doing my entire basement and finishing it pretty much all on my own. So I'm proud of that here. This back here is an area that the kids their grandpa used to pile up the snow there and make like a slide for them. And they would end up way down here, actually, which is kind of neat. And we're here today, and he still talks about it today. Like, maybe the kids want to go out and do that, but they don't even own a ski suit or any type of winter gear. So this is their backyard. And one memory, I'm going to talk about some memories here. And one memory that comes to mind with me standing right here is actually, we tried to sell the house that's our house back there. The house we sold to come to Florida. This area right here, we hung out here one day because the day our house was basically looked at by the couple that would buy it, we were called on a Sunday, and this comes after like 3 seasons of trying to sell, or 2 seasons after trying to sell this house. And then the 3rd season, we got a call from the first people that looked at it, like the day after. And that's when we agreed upon to be out of this place in 6 weeks, which is crazy to pack up a whole house. But it was on a Sunday, and they had asked if they could come in. So I told Tammy, why don't we just come over and we'll just hang out right here. We'll play some ball with the kids or something, and we can be nosy and watch them go in and look and all that stuff. And we did. And it was a really big success, and led to us getting to Florida within 6 weeks. Before we get going on the road, I just wanted to come down here and just share a few stories. This is basically the front of my in-laws' house. So my in-laws retired to Maine, and they built this house, and my mother-in-law was only 5.5 hours away from Tammy and I in Massachusetts, who were fairly recently married, and Tammy was pregnant, and her mom came down a few times, and she sold us on coming up here and building a house and being close so that she could watch the kids, and it would be a really great experience. And it really was. Looking down at this road goes up there to the main road and goes up maybe a little more than a quarter mile or so. And I used to run this a lot in 20 degrees weather. Now, the town had never accepted this road for one reason, that they didn't build it to specs, and they're still fighting to it today. But Tammy and I think about this road where, look at these holes, look at these potholes. There's others way bigger than this, and they were not like that when we moved. When we moved, the road was still in pretty good condition, and it's really broken apart now. So that's something that's just going to continue to deteriorate because they don't have an HOA in a place like this, and it's going to be rough driving, and it already is for the people that are here. This right here, a memory comes to mind and it was probably about exactly right here. Breaks my heart to this day, but for Jillian, when I taught her how to ride a bike, it was right on this strip of road. It has a little decline to it, so it was easy to kind of get a running start and try to run alongside her. But the poor thing, she got really nervous and lost control and like crashed into the brush over here. I think she escaped with maybe a scrape or two, but she made it a-okay. The nice thing is this house here was never here. 5 years ago, that house was not here. This was all woods. And we really got really lucky because, and it looks like they thinned out some woods back there, but we had nobody on any side of us. We owned an acre, 1.19 acres. And so back there we had nobody behind us. Another story, one day Jillian and I went back there to explore in the snow, and it was tough getting through a lot of that brush and high snow. I started to get a little nervous because we went a little deep and I wasn't really sure how to get back, but I knew there was a trail back there somewhere. So needless to say, we did make it back, and we ended up coming out this way. I think we were gone for about 30 minutes, and we probably didn't even go more than a distance of, 40 yards or something like that. So if you look at the house, on the very end of it to the right was my bedroom window, and the two front ones, the one on the right was Jill's, and the one to the left was Jacob's, and the living room was there. Nice 2-stall garage, and just a lot of memories here. Now they've kind of trashed it. It did not look like this at this point, but there's another pothole, just so big. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but yeah, this was it. And they're old. Now they moved the mailbox too. Our mailbox was like right there, and they moved it to here. A thing about the mailbox was too, here in a country town like this, if you didn't clear the snow, they wouldn't mail your mail. So it was always a fight to do this 50-foot driveway, and then right there, the plow would come around this corner, and he'd put out like 3 feet deep of snow back into the street, and I was never happy about that. But you always had to make that part of your plowing. And then there's the kids' swing set, and it still stands today. But yeah, if I didn't clear that, we wouldn't get the mail. So that was always a chore. One day I finally cleared it, and he came around the corner. I stood right there with a look on my face and my shovel. And from that day forward, I wouldn't say that day forward, he never did it again, but he was certainly conscious and didn't do it that day, and probably did it a little less. I'm walking up this road here and I'm filming in 27 degrees, so I'm switching hands because my hand is getting cold. You don't own gloves when you live in Florida. And it's kind of funny. Neighborhoods change over. We all had babies. We all had babies here. And there we go. We all had babies. And you think today. But yeah, if I didn't clear that, we wouldn't get the mail. So that was always a chore. One day I finally cleared it, and he came around the corner. I stood right there with a look on my face and my shovel. And from that day forward, I wouldn't say that day forward, he never did it again, but he was certainly conscious and didn't do it that day, and probably did it a little less. I'm walking up this road here and I'm filming in 27 degrees, so I'm switching hands because my hand is getting cold. You don't own gloves when you live in Florida. And it's kind of funny. Neighborhoods change over. We all had babies. We all had babies here. And there we go. We all had babies. And you think that all the kids will grow up together, and they won't, for obvious reasons. We moved. All the original couples and families moved. We all had 1 or 2 children on this road, and we talk about, when this one gets older, maybe my daughter will marry your son and all this other stuff. But, from I'm going from a small child to, teenagers and adults. There's a lot of time to change there. This here at the end of our road was our cul-de-sac, and we would have street parties here. The whole neighborhood would get together, and we'd put out, horseshoes and games and little pools for the kids to play in. A lot of memories here. So it's endless. One time Jillian and I were walking down here, and I gotta say, Jillian was probably like, if I had to throw a number out there, Jillian was probably like 7 or something, and a little black cat came out of the woods over here, and he saw us, and he started picking up a little bit of a jog, and I didn't want Jillian to I don't even know what, but I just wanted to keep it moving. So I'm like, Jillian, look, he's going to get us. He's going to get us. And she's like, Dad, okay, let's run. And we start running, and we keep looking back, and we're running, and that cat's still coming. And I just don't, I wonder if she remembers that. But I don't know. It felt creepy at the time, but I guess telling the story now, it really isn't. But that cat just kind of chased us down, and we beat him back into the house. But I don't know how scared she really was, but concerned enough that we kept moving. I was trying to think of some driveway memories over there, because we utilized all areas of our pool in the back. We had a beautiful deck. The thing was it was a 20 by 16, and I doubled it with stairs going down. So we had a pool. Of course, you couldn't swim in it very long in the summer, but we had it anyway. And we just throw some tunes up out there and have a pool party every weekend with the kids and I. Sometimes family would come. Back over here, we would fill up every Sunday, it seems like, when it was hot. I would fill up water balloons in a big Home Depot bucket, and then we'd come out to the driveway, and I would just let the kids pick them up and try to throw them at Daddy's chest. And of course, they were so small, they couldn't break the balloons. So I would just kind of smash them against me and go, oh. And that was just a lot of fun. So those are some of the stories we have on the road. I'm sure there's more I'm not even thinking of at the time, but just wanted to share some of that with you. And from here, let's hit the road, and we'll go see a few things and document a little bit of the day. Coming up around the bend here is the kids' elementary school. That long white building. Not much to it, but it did the job. But it's good, right?
Yeah.
It is very good pizza.
Check out our local grocery store. Don't blink your eyes, because you might miss it. And our Dunkin' Donuts.
A Dunkin' Donuts and a local grocery market, which we kind of treated as a corner store because it's not much bigger than that. There's a few aisles in there, but some people, I guess that's where they do all of their shopping if they don't want to go 25 minutes of a drive this way into Bangor. So we're in town in Bangor, and this is the area in which Stephen King has a house. Now, I think that he pretty much winters in Florida, but he does have a house here as well, which he comes up, I think, in the warmer weather. And it's not as glorious as you would think. Look at your surroundings. You know, little businesses in the area, basically rental property houses type of area. And this is the Citgo station, I believe, which is where we want to turn soon.
I always forget what turn it is though.
It's right here, I think. I think we're going to take a left here up at this intersection.
Yes. I always forget what gas station it is.
And if I ventured to guess, it probably is the biggest house on the block.
You would never think that Stephen King's house is like right in here. Because you would think of something, you know, huge and glamorous because it's Stephen King. But
Right.
it's not. And if you see that red house on your left, well, then you see Stephen King's house.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Let's get out and explore a little bit.
I
Yeah.
think Ted wants to go in the basement. You ready, Ted? Where's Ted?
You ready for the basement? We could do the basement, Ted. 24-hour security surveillance.
Oh, maybe
But
not.
the driveway is open, and
Oh, these people from Texas in front of us.
here's the house. And there's always people here at all times stopping and taking photos and video.
You're gonna have to.
But we're going to get on out, and we're going to take a look at this place. Definitely a funky structure. There's a lot of animals I see. I see like some frogs. It's like the baby tree of life. Some owls and some other types of creatures. As we come around over here, maybe we can get a little bit closer.
What is at the bottom? Is that like a flux or something?
Yeah.
It's like a cat or something in the middle. It's quite the interesting piece, huh?
It is.
Oh, here's Stephen King's house.
Right?
Oh my gosh, it's been how many years? 3 years since I've seen this house. Still beautiful as ever, and Stephen King is an amazing author. I love it. I love all of his work, and this is just really, really cool to be in front of again. I'm not sure what this is, but I think it's very, very cool, and just everything about it. And I love how he just lives on like such like a regular schmegular street just in the middle of Maine. I just think it's kind of cool. And you know, it's not really anything much, like
Nothing glamorous.
nothing glamorous. Yeah, you know, the most that he has is like some like really cool gates and some gargoyles.
Well, look at the gate. It's like all rusted and the paint's coming off.
Because it's old.
It is very old. I
And
mean,
someone
Maine
left,
is
and we
old.
think it could have been his wife.
I have
Oh,
pictures of me in front of his house when I was, I don't know, probably.
Mom, you look bald.
I have hair. I'm freezing. It's cold. Although it's like 30s today, it's much better than yesterday
These
when it was
leggings make you feel
4 when I
bad.
woke up. But I had pictures in front of his house when I was a little girl.
Do you know how old approximately?
I think I was under 10. I was little. And it still looks
Whack.
the same.
And it looks the same.
Still looks the same.
But it's very, very cool to say the least. And I hope you enjoy this Maine vlog. Thank you. Pennywise.
Like I kind of alluded to before, very modest area. Some older classical types of homes. But this looks like any other neighborhood you'd grow up in the Northeast. When it gets too cold outside to have concerts and big artists come in, they've constructed this building they call the Cross Center, where they'll hold a lot of different events when we're under normal conditions. And there's Paul Bunyan, without Babe, but we're gonna go stand next to him and give you an idea of how big Paul really is. So although the structures and buildings have changed over the years, Paul Bunyan still remains in the same spot. I can remember when they were building this building just several years ago, and there was all the talk about how Paul Bunyan would still remain, as he should. We don't know why he's really here in Maine, because I think it's more of a Minnesota tall tale, no pun intended. But this is him. We're gonna put Jillian next to him as I approach right up to him. He's a big... Tammy says she feels small now. Stand next to him. This is Tammy, next to just one of his shoes. He's big. Do you remember him being here?
Yeah,
You do?
I do.
Uh-huh.
And driving by him every once in a while.
Their thing now says do not climb.
Do not climb.
When I was a kid, I have pictures of me sitting on his boot
And you used
somewhere.
to climb him.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Good climb.
That's quite the tool he has right there. But there's Paul Bunyan in all of his Paul Bunyan glory. He's so big. Here's just an idea down one area. Look at all these stores that are closed. Just about every one of them is closed. And there's the Build-A-Bear where the kids built many bears. We came over to the local mall to find that it's mostly deserted, but look how cool this place is. It started out as some kind of seasonal haunted house, but then they went to a Christmas theme apparently. And definitely had to show you this because it's just too cool. It's not something you see in everyday mall life. But definitely pretty neat. I brought Jill down because I told her she had to see this. Over here, it says, in the reflection anyway, the Rotten Pumpkin Factory.
I don't know what this is supposed to be, but I think it's really cool. Oh my gosh, look.
Oh, look at this. He's had a rough time
It's a graveyard.
in the snow.
I love this.
Right up your alley. So there you go. Another vlog in the books. LID on the road. We covered some history and stories on our street. You got a good feel for what that was like over there. We took you to Stephen King's house. And
The Pop Onion statue.
exactly. And that's about all this place has to offer.
And it was a very fun trip down memory lane for all of us. And I really hope we can come back again soon.
So comment below for anything you want to say about
She's freezing cold.
today's vlog. She's cold.
And Jacob is with us. He's in the car because
Yes,
it's cold.
because people will ask. He just didn't want to get out. So,
is cold.
with that said, I'm Corey,
I'm Tammy.
I'm Jillian.
and we're living in Diz. We'll see you in the parks.